feeling rushed and stupid. So, yeah, I'm old. I'm old. That's what I'll blame it on. I'm old. Okay. So, I hear you giggling. I'll bring him up here. Snap to terrain. This guy here. Snap to terrain. Guy here. Lower that in a little bit. Bring it down to terrain level. Otherwise, it's going to look really stupid. We'll bring this guy over here. About like that. It's fine. And now the big add node at index 0. Boom. Add another. Make sure it's linear. Now I don't have the same control that I had here. This node is always going to be a direct straight line to this node when both are linear. And that is precisely why I prefer the Bezier, because you can make your road curve. You can get over the bumps or into the dips. It's just more control. It's a little more work and a little more to keep keep track of. But in the end, I think it's a better option. But again, opinions may vary. So we'll do that. We'll bring that around there. We'll add another node. We'll bring it down there. I need a destination, don't I? Someone give me a destination.
Bandit Town.
Bandit Town it is. Oh, of course, there's no road leading to Bandit Town. That's okay, I can get close. When you place, when you place a monument, there's a bunch of shit down here you'll see. Apply alpha, biome, height, splat, and topology. Hugely important. All of them. I like to start with height map. Then I go to alpha. If you use alpha first and then height map, your holes won't always line up perfectly. They'll wind up screwy. But if you will see that your holes are screwy or you don't have a hole somewhere, just come back and hit apply alpha and it will redo it, and you can climb down into your sewers and all that good shit. But alpha is it's what lets you go through the terrain. So if you need anything that has to go under the terrain, like those train tunnels, all that stuff, you're going to need an alpha on the entry point. And I'll show you a little more about that in just a little bit. Biome, that controls the temperature of the area. Do you want it arid? Do you want it freezing? Do you want it, what temperature do you want it? Most of the monuments have a built-in alpha and height. Very few have their own biome, this being one because it comes with fog and other shit. Splat map. Kind of self-evident, isn't it? The splat throws all that grass and the dirt and, all the little pretty stuff around. Topology. This one's really important. This controls where wood, where your forests are, where ore will spawn, where players will spawn, is all controlled by topology. And we'll get a little deeper into that shortly. Right now, believe it or not, we're still on roads. Okay, so I go back to paths. I've got my road here. I'll just add another one. Bezier, don't want to get sloppy.
Sometimes you want sharp edges.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a time and a place for it. I certainly wouldn't fault anyone for using it. It's personal preference, pure personal preference. So yeah, I've reached my other destination. If it had a road leading to it, I would go through the whole raise and lower thing again, but there's no road here. So the next step, apply the terrain modifiers. That's going to bring the terrain up or down. Probably more self-evident here. Let me undo that. So again, apply terrain modifiers. Boom. It flattens out the area you wanted the road. Of course, if you wanted the road wider, that you would do here with the path width. I often like to go 15. And then, of course, I would have to redo my terrain. And then a lot of times you'll see these are too steep, and that's where you break out that good old smoothing tool. And you just kind of clean that shit up. Going back to our path. Flat modifiers. That adds that dirt along the road. Topology. I don't know why a road needs topology. It can handle any weather. Side topology modifiers. That is the loot. I stretched them a bit, so we'll give it a 10. We'll never see it because it only shows up in map anyway. Road substations. That's the next one. Why I didn't apply those. So road substations. That's these guys. They are not automatically set and leveled. You have to go back. They'll put one at both ends. You have to choose them each individually and set them right. Next would be
They're always floating.
telephone poles. Oh, I know. That and bus stations. The next is the telephone poles and all those little boxes and shit. Boom. Spawned.
I usually
And
just ignore
last,
those.
and there's your little road objects. That's how a road is made. River, pretty much exact same process, but what you need to remember, you have to start where you want the river to end, or else it's going to run backwards. So I'll do a path, choose river, look down, look down, look down. Create new path.
It's better as a Bezier. Because then you can
Rotate.
really get it
Global.
wavy.
Yup. All right, so there's my number 2. What I like to do with the rivers so you get a nice clean edge, I'll bring it to where the 1 is. I want the 1 like fairly close to the edge. And then I'll take the 2 and bring it down into the water. And the closer this is to the edge, the cleaner your river's going to look. And the rest is exactly the same as the road. Add a node. Place it. Add a node. Place it. I always like to put a lake up here so my river looks like it actually was born out of something. But you absolutely do not have to do that. It is a nice touch, however.
When you spawn the river objects, it usually gives you a rock to start with.
Yeah.
So it comes out of the rock.
Yeah, when you have your little thing here, when you're done, you spawn the same as, there's your width again, outer fade. That's, the sides, how thick you want, how wide you want that. Then you do your terrain modifiers, your flat modifiers, your topology modifiers, your side, that's your pumpkins and corn and all that crap. Spawn in your river objects, and there's that silly rock that rivers just magically appear from.
I like that rock. It's my favorite rock in the whole game.
But you guys see how the water is flowing towards the river, even though I started here? You would think you start from the source and bring it out, but no. So very important to remember if you don't want your river looking really strange. It's not a game killer, but it looks really freaking weird.
Fun.
Okay, next path. Rails. Oh God, no, I don't want to do rails.
You
I don't
gotta
wanna-
do rails.
Rails are like roads. Is that good enough?
Rails are like
No.
roads, except
Except
rails
totally
are
fucking
less
different and
forgiving.
picky. Yeah, rails are really just vicious, mean, horrible things they've introduced to piss us off. All right, new path. Give me my Bezier. Rotate. I'm just going to show the really important thing, like crossing the roads.
Road. Yeah.
Let's see.
You're on river again.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. Spawn missing river objects.
Damn it! That really a river? Good God Almighty!
Is that like a water rail?
God, somebody stop me when I do these stupid things. All right, we're on rail. Let me show you a bit about trains that don't run on water. That
Yeah.
looks more like a train track.
Yes, it does.
How did I miss that?
Because you didn't want to deal with
Damn.
you didn't want to deal with it.
I need a cookie.
Hello,
Real.
guys.
Hello.
Hey, Scarlett.
How's it going?
Just waking up.
Yeah, me too, apparently. All right. So you got your rail going, right? Maybe you started it from the railroad, that, whatever. Eventually, you can string it all the way in a circle and make a loop. I'll show you about, connecting it in a loop in just a second. But when you get to a road, you add your node. And honestly, this is probably the only time I would recommend linear.
Yeah. Point A to point B. You actually want your road linear and your rail linear in that point, because it's just, if you start having extra nodes, it just becomes a lot more difficult to play with.
That is essentially how you would want a rail to look while crossing the road.
Hello,
It
everyone.
doesn't always look that way.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, it rarely looks that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
because whenever you were first doing it, it was like halfway in the ground on where the road
Right.
is.
That's what snap to terrain is for.
Yeah.
All right. So I got these all Bezier'd out. Say you've been building your rail.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was pretty.
No, it's not pretty.
Mm.
But nobody said there's going to be.
And what is that for?
I'm going to show you how to loop a track because you need a ring road and a ring track, right?
Yes.
Both of them. So yeah, kind of need to learn this a little bit. Really doesn't matter what you've chosen here, but I'm going to stick with my Bezier. When you get near that node, you have this lovely button at the bottom of the transform tool. snap to nearby